Hey there, Pisces. Welcome to a tarot reading for the first half of September 2025 update. It's Raina here. And I've put out the horoscopes for September, including Pisces. Very important month. You have a lunar eclipse. And the opposite sign, Virgo, is an eclipse in that sign too. So please check that out if you're interested. I'm going to pick an additional card. Okay. Okay. The heart of the matter is the Page of Swords. And this is kind of, to me, some suspicious energy. In other words, you may be feeling like you have to watch your back, like what's really going on here. This is the spy card. This could be the person who hires a private detective to find out if their partner is cheating type of a vibe. Or in the workplace, you may be compelled to keep notes, take notes, or gather receipts, because if you suspect that there's something shady going on that involves you, you want to be protected as much as possible. And it could just simply be that you're starting, you're in the early stages of some kind of coursework that you're studying. It doesn't have to always be anything like really suspicious, but yeah. In the past position is the Four of Swords. So the first thing that came to my mind was mental health break. Those kinds of, like, if you were working somewhere and you were under a lot of stress, because swords is about thoughts in the mind and communication, things that are not physical, they're more mental. And yet, the Four of Swords as a card connects with reflection and kind of time away, or even recuperation. So I would even say on the physical level, if you have been through some kind of, and the Ten of Wands is another card of burnout, some type of situation where you took like what do they call those, like a medical leave or something like that, and now you're back and you really feel like things have changed. Maybe like people are treating you differently. It just doesn't feel like the same thing. And sometimes I think sometimes people, it could be that they just were resentful, like they had to do work, they had to do extra work or something like that, or envy because you got time off and they had to work all this time. It could be something petty like that, but there might be something else afoot. I mean, there could be something brewing, beneath the surface. The higher message is the Nine of Wands. This is a card of boundaries. I think, especially since I'm talking to a Pisces or two Pisces, is that, those of you out there who are Pisces, you're ruled by Neptune. Neptune is not about boundaries. Neptune is about, hey, let's all just, we're all one, man. Like, that's groovy, all of that. And it's very, it can create situations where you don't even recognize that you need to set boundaries. So I feel like, this Ten of Wands is right below that card. That was an outcome card, is that you have to watch if you are in whatever situation you are, because this could be like a love relationship, same thing. Page of Swords. Maybe you are feeling that, maybe you even like took a breather from that individual, and you're just exhausted, but you're not seeing how you are contributing to it because you're not having boundaries. Like boundaries meaning that thing, there's a line. There are things that you will not tolerate in a relationship. I was going to say a line that they can't cross, but there might be more than one thing like that. And yet, if you don't have those boundaries and you just kind of allow everything, then how can you fully complain about the other person, because you teach people how to treat you? And I think with the Ten of Wands, it can be doing something for someone else that they should be doing for themselves. And that can even be in the workplace, because maybe the boss could hire another worker, but they want to make more money for themselves. Is that your problem that they want to make more money for themselves? So, you may feel responsible for everything. As soon as somebody asks you to do something, you might think this is my responsibility because they want me to do it. Well, to me, that's a recipe for disaster, to think like that. So you have to kind of pick and choose what you're going to, allow. Uh, what crosses you is the Justice card. This card is connected to Libra, and it's a card about fairness. So it's very possible that you are involved in a relationship that is lopsided. It could be a relationship with a employer, a relationship with a spouse, or somebody that you're dating, and it doesn't feel like you're on equal footing. Again, going back to that Nine of Wands, are you setting boundaries? If somebody crosses those boundaries, what do you do? Do you just kind of like shrug your shoulders and complain about it and be the martyr? Or do you have ways that you deal with that kind of disrespect or ignorance of your wishes? What's coming in is a Chariot card, which is a very positive card. It's a card of victory. I was going to say the horses of duality, but in this case we have kitty cats, but they are black and white and they represent duality. And the woman is standing in the middle of those cats. So she represents the balance between opposing forces. So, in life, there's like this contrast. There's always like, we may feel that we're being pulled in one direction or another direction, one side or another side. And when we are able to accomplish what we're trying to accomplish without allowing ourselves to be dragged down in either way, that's when we have those victories. So for instance, let's say you are dealing with someone a partner who you think is cheating. It would be very easy to get consumed by that and not continue going after your dreams. But somehow you do, and you see that victory. I have a book that even says victory, like something like victory after, persistence in evil circumstances, or something like, these very negative circumstances. So it can be done if a person puts their mind to it and is not dragged down by other people's bad behavior. The outcome card is the Ten of Wands. It's probably more like a cautionary tale. One of my books calls this the burdens of success. So it could be that you are very busy, that you're working a lot, but it could be like maybe you're jumping into the frying pan, into the fire after being in the frying pan. If you have had time off from burnout, you might be like, oh, I have to catch up. I have to do all these things, forgetting how you got to that place where you needed medical leave to begin with. Um, but I would say too, look at the areas where you are taking on this responsibility that may belong to somebody else that they need to carry for themselves. It could even be with your child. If you have a child, an adult child, and you feel obligated to uh, rescue them, and you realize that this is a chronic problem. It's like you get to the point where you know that even if you rescue them yet again, that it's not really going to be the last time. So it can make you realize that you have to put your foot down, and the Nine of Wands is right there. And so I picked an additional card, and I got the Knight of Cups, which is an offer of love. You may be going through, you could even be going through a difficult divorce, and you're kind of like feeling like you have to kind of take notes and bring receipts because your ex has like a great lawyer or something like that. But the Knight of Cups can be, maybe this is an offer that makes everything all better if you're dealing with some kind of a legal matter. But also, yeah, and also, like the seventh house is going to be activated in September, because not only is there a solar eclipse there on the 21st of September, but there's also the opposition that is made during the lunar eclipse in your sign. Now, that's going to be in your first house, but it's opposing the sun in the seventh. So it is creating that polarity that could have to do with a partner and or the law. And you may get, like, if there's something like that, then you may get some kind of, what would you call it? Yeah, like an offer, but it's coming from a heartfelt place instead of like maybe if there had been negativity. So it kind of soothes things a bit. Also, you may meet somebody who feels more like a romantic partner than somebody else that you have been dealing with. Maybe you've been dealing with somebody who is a swords person, so that would be an air sign. My biggest bet would be Gemini, because it's a mutable sign like you, Pisces. The other swords are, or air signs are, Libra and Aquarius. The thing I want to mention with this card, with the Ten of Wands, that is in contrast with this, is that this is going upstream. I think that's what Abraham Hicks always talks about, going upstream, where you're trying to make something happen. This can be somebody who's being very ambitious. And this is a card where it's kind of more of a passive thing, because it's more intuitive. Cups represent the water signs, and it's more, this is fire, so this is masculine, this is feminine. Feminine is more receptive. So it's not always about just putting so much physical energy into something. Sometimes there's a part of law of attraction that's the art of allowing. So we're allowing something to come to us. We're allowing it to come from the heart, which is what the Knight of Cups is all about. Okay, Pisces, that's what I have for you. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, I do astrology, the tarot, and both together in readings. You can find out more information at the link below. Thanks for watching. Bye.